For today's training, grab a single stick, hit the subscribe button, smash that thumbs up button, leave me a comment below, and let's get training because I think you're gonna really like this one. In today's training, we're taking a look at our basic strikes. However, we're gonna be doing multiple different variations of our 4 basic diagonal strikes. We're gonna be looking at how to execute these strikes on the single grip, on the double force grip, the two-handed grip, and also on the reverse grip. So 4 strikes, 1 drill, 4 different variations of how to apply these strikes. You can then take your little stick, just like this, and you can expand the length of that weapon to any length that you really want that you can handle. All right, let's go ahead and get to it. Let's start off with the first variation. All right, our first variation is the basic. We're starting off with a single grip. When we grip the stick, we're typically like to be about a fist length up. All right, you can even go 2 fingers, 3 fingers, whatever it is. Some people like to hold it flush. Here at Collie Center, we like to be roughly about 1 fist length up. Okay, it kind of goes hand in hand with the balance of a bolo. So that's why we do it. All right, so from here, let's take a look at the first variation on the single grip. We're gonna start in that number 1 chamber position. We always start off our strikes with full range of motion strikes, with understanding the full arc potential of the strikes. Then we can shorten up the power, shorten up the arcs and all that. But we always start with the full arc, a full range of motion. So from right here, we have our angle 1 that comes down on that forehand side. Angle 2 comes down on the backhand side. That's going down the X. Then we come angle 3 that goes up the X on the forehand, and then our angle 4 that goes up the X on the backhand right there. So very, very simple. First variation is the single-handed grip. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. Now just make sure that when you are striking these diagonal strikes that they are diagonal strikes, roughly hitting that 45 degrees. We don't want these to come out flat horizontal, and we don't want them to come out too vertical. So a couple little strikes to make sure you were paying attention to. On that number 1, a lot of people like to tend to flatten this out and go a little bit more horizontal. So on the angle 1, you got to make sure that it's coming downward diagonal. Angle 2, a lot of people do this one very, very well. On the angle 3, make sure it's diagonal. Don't start flattening that out on the horizontal. Okay, make sure it's diagonal. And then on the angle 4, also make sure this is diagonal. There's a tendency that I see a lot. People will kind of come a little bit more vertical on that angle 4. So just make sure you are striking those diagonal strikes. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Second variation of our basic strikes is the double force, and what this means is we're going to apply a brace right here with our left hand. I'm going to go ahead and cut my hand right over my wrist, right where the wrist would bend. We're going to reinforce that area of our body right there. What this does is allows us to strike with more body weight behind it, more torque, so that way we can generate more power. All right, so from right here, same exact thing. It doesn't matter what lead you're in. You could be in a straight lead, you can be in the off lead. It really doesn't matter at this point. But we're gonna strike the same strikes, but this time just utilizing the double force. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, paying attention that all those strikes are diagonal. Let's take a look at number 3, which is the two-handed grip method. This is where we're gonna go ahead and use both hands. Right hand's on top, left hand is on the bottom. This is another reason why we like to leave about a fist length of puño on the bottom of the stick. So if we need to go into a double-handed grip method, it's accessible. We don't have to slide our hand up or anything like that. It's just ready to go. So again, this is great training for if you're starting to train with a longer weapon, maybe a longer sword, maybe a staff, a short spear, anything like that, then we can go into that two-handed grip. So from here, same exact angles. We have our 1, our 2, our 3, and our 4 right there. And one of the things that you're gonna notice is as you're progressing through these different gripping methods, that you're gonna start losing a little bit of manipulation. So you're gonna start losing that mobility and manipulation, what you can do with the weapon. However, you're losing that, but you are gaining more stability and you are gaining the possibility of striking with a little bit more power behind that strike, especially when you are, utilizing a weapon that maybe has some weight to it. It's a little bit heavier, maybe a little bit longer and heavier, and you need that extra power, that extra leverage when you are on the countering side especially. So that's why it's important to understand these different gripping methods. All right, number 4, let's take a look at the reverse strikes and how we do this, meaning the reverse grip. Now there's 2 ways that we can get into the reverse grip with a stick. And we can either just slide the stick down just like that and then slide it back, or we can transfer the thumb over to the finger side and just kind of let it flip and rotate. Either one is fine. However, disclaimer, it is not recommended to be switching your grip in the middle of a fight or in the middle of fencing, and when you're training, sparring or anything like that. The reason why we do that is because if you happen to pick up a weapon or you disarmed your opponent and the weapon was in your hand and it happened to be in a reverse grip, then we can go ahead and operate it with, in the reverse grip. However, when it comes to like the sword, especially, we don't really prefer operating in the reverse grip method with a sword, with a bow or anything like that. But it is a good idea to understand how the tool operates in the reverse grip. So let's take a look at it. All right, from here, going into the reverse grip, we have our angle 1 coming down that X, our angle 2 coming down the X, our angle 3 coming up the X, and then our angle 4 coming up the X right there. So we have our 1, our 2, our 3, and our 4. So again, you're gonna be losing power here. You're losing, some of that manipulation with the wrist, okay? But it is really important and always a good idea to understand how the weapon operates in all of its different capacities. All right, once you have all 4 of these down, we can go ahead and start flowing these together into one drill. So let's just start off going through chronological order. The single-handed grip, which is the most common, the double force, the two-handed grip, and the reverse grip. Let's take a look at how it works out in one flow. All right, there you got it. Working out our basic strikes with 4 of our basic gripping methods: the single-handed grip, the double force grip, the two-handed grip, and the reverse grip. Have a lot of fun with these, and then you can start experimenting with different types of sticks, rattan, bahi,
kamagong, any different types of sticks, different lengths, thicknesses, and start exploring this, different grips with your staff, your training spears, and your bolos, your training bolos, and knives, and all those different things. You can also start playing around with all the different angles of strikes as well. So we just worked in our diagonals, but of course, we can also work in our horizontals, we could work in our vertical strikes, okay, and all those things, including thrusts, and all of our different tactics and techniques. To continue your training with us further, do a couple of things. Number one, click the join button right below this video and check out becoming a sponsor of our channel. And that way you get exclusive access to more training videos that we have right here on our channel. Number two, head over to KaliCenter.com and check out our Kali Apex. We got our basic training course right over there. Plus, you can jump in on our Patreon page where our Kali Apex membership is hosted at, and you get weekly exclusive training plus video coaching calls, so you can get one-on-one private training with us, and our live stream classes, and a whole bunch more over there on our Patreon. I got all the links in the description below. Grab your Kali stick, head on outside, get some training in, go have fun, explore. Don't take it too seriously. You got to make sure that you're keeping the fun in the training. But as I always say, get outside and make nature your Kali dojo, and I'll see you next time.